Hello, in this video I'd like to show you how to get started with Google Calendar. So I've got a blank slate here, and if you want to add in your classes, for example, like maybe I've got college algebra on Tuesdays, and it meets, let me just go ahead to more options. I don't want it to be an all-day event. Let's see, 11 actually goes to 11:50 a.m. there. And I want it to repeat for me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I went down to custom, and this is going to go until the end of our semester, which the last Thursday of the semester is April 30th this time. Okay, so I can just go ahead and hit save, and boom, all those classes are in there. So you can add in those events pretty quickly, especially if they're repetitive like that. You can get it to repeat. If you're in my class, I do have public calendars for all of my classes. So this is my Math 1125 calendar. And if you wanted to add in these due dates for your homework assignments and your prep work assignments, and then also, of course, the important test dates, you can just add this in. You don't have to recreate the wheel. So you're going to go down to the bottom right-hand corner. You're going to go to Add Google Calendar. And I'm already signed in on my OCC student account. So it's just going to say, hey, do you really want to add this? And we are going to say, yes, we do. And boom, there are all the events from the calendar. So you get those nice due dates in there. You can see the first test in that class is on February the 5th, and you can kind of plan around that. So the section numbers are obviously what we're doing in class. It's an all-day event. I don't have those in for our specific class period. So you can create your own events pretty quickly. You can subscribe to my calendar and get all those due dates in your calendar. And you might be thinking, well, what the heck? Gunkelman, you've got tons of events in these calendars. Like if I look at my 1540 calendar, you can see I've got just tons of events inside those calendars. And you might wonder how I get them in there so quickly. And I do it with Excel. So the basic template that you're going to want to use looks like this. You're going to have your subject, your start date, start time, end date, end time, and then all day event. That's kind of the crucial thing when you're looking at trying to plan not for a specific time, but just to have it on your calendar. So like if I put in here, maybe I've got like a homework 1, homework 2, oops. Maybe these are like online assignments that you've got to get done, or maybe you have something on D2L in an online class. Oops, sorry, I must have hit screenshot there. You've got something in an online class, etc. You don't have to type these. Oops. You don't have to type these out every single time, because as soon as you get a little bit of a pattern, you can just pull down on that right-hand corner and Excel is going to know what you're doing. So let's say that those are due on, Monday nights. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I don't think I made this a date. So I'm going to go up here and change this general to not to accounting, to a short date. There we go. So like I said, maybe these are due on Monday nights. The first Monday is the 20th. Now you don't have to keep typing in all those single days. What you're going to do is hit in here equals, go up to that cell for B3 and just add a week, right? You don't have to keep doing that, and you can still do that little drag down feature, and it's just going to keep adding a week. It's going to get that formula for you if you just pull that little square down in the right hand corner. If you don't have a specific start time, like maybe it is due at 11:59 p.m. like a lot of us do for our classes. Okay, let's say you've got that all the way down. I can hit Control D. If you've got a Mac, that's Command D, and it'll fill in all those times. Now, again, you don't want to have to type in these end dates. So I'm just going to hit equals and equals B3. So it's going to copy it for me. And again, I can do that all the way down, Control D. The end time, Maybe I want it to be the exact same. That's how I put all those events in the calendar that I had that were due. And so if this is an all-day event, so it's not, it's specifically at 11:59 p.m. So you're going to put in here false. If you wanted to, you could put a description in, you could put a location in. I know when I build my calendar, I put the room numbers in so that I know what room to go to when I'm teaching them. Or like if I have a meeting, I'll put the location in there. I usually just do that on the calendar, but you could do that for obviously a number of events. If you do want to have an all-day event, like let's say you have a quiz, right, on D2L that you have to just work on that day. You can submit it as many times as you want. Maybe you don't have, that 11:59 deadline that you want to add into your calendar. Maybe you're trying to add something else into your calendar. Maybe this is on like Fridays. Okay, so you could do the same thing again. Just pull those down if you have a few more of those quizzes. And again, maybe I should have had discussion board posts, something like that. Oops, I forgot to add a week. Add my 7 days. Again, you can just highlight that guy and highlight the cells beneath it and then hit Control D and it will pop all those guys in there. Let's say that this is an all-day event and you're like, well, I don't want to have to bother with all this copying stuff. I can just do the same thing that I did above, except for here, I'm going to want to go ahead and put true. So put all those guys down there. And again, I just want to put a few events in there so you can see what is happening. The big important thing that you need to do when you're going to import this is you need to save this as a CSV file. So CSV right there. You want to save that instead of an Excel file, the XLS, you don't want that. You want a CSV. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to close that so I don't get myself confused. Now, when you go ahead to import this, you're going to go ahead and go into the calendar settings here. I just hit those little 3 dots. And you're going to notice something here before I import this is that you can add a calendar. So if you want to create a new calendar, like sometimes students will make a different calendar for like their professor's office hours or like the math help room or the writing center, something like that. You can make a new one so that you can turn it off. I know I have a different calendar for every class because obviously some of them are public. And then I again have a calendar that I use for home and I've got one that I use for work. And I do turn them all on most of the time during the week. But if I need to, just to isolate one of those, I can turn some of them off. And it helps get rid of the distractions of all the events. So I don't want to actually do that. I want to go to import and export. And I'm going to go ahead and select the file from my computer. Now, I already had my Google Calendar folder open, and I have this sample Google Calendar Events CSV file. And you can select what you want to put this to. Now, you can see I've got a ton of them, right? The one that I've been showing you here is my Math 1100 calendar, just so that you can see that. I'm going to go ahead and hit import. And bada boom, bada bing, all those 15 things just got entered in. And you can see that it looks different. Like this event for the homework that we put in that was specifically supposed to be at 11:59 p.m. when something is due. You can see how easy that is. I can see where it is. And then the same thing is for the quizzes, except for those are all day events. And if you ever want to change any of those things, you can go ahead and hit edit and change those. So that's how I can get in literally over, I probably put in, let's see, it's probably close to 150 events for a semester for my students. I can put it in the calendar that fast. I hope this helps you get started with Google Calendar.